So, I love watching Charlie Kirk, you know, debating the opposition, like the liberals, what they believe in certain things, gun controls. With this video, they're going to be talking about abortions and what that pertains to, like, the children, the kids, and all that stuff. But Riley Gaines is actually with him um, as a guest. So let's listen in to what they have to say and
And
talk about.
with abortion policies, like I understand, you feel a sense of vulnerability when participating with trans women or men, as you consider, in sports. Why do you feel that these policies and these concepts don't threaten you?
Because I think children are the greatest blessing life has to offer.
And if that's the case, why don't you think children are deserving of healthy environments? Like, on
Who who's saying that children does not deserve healthy environment? I think this is I don't want to jump into conclusion here, but I think some of the argument on the left, it's saying that especially in the in America's kids that being born in poverty, that they are better for them to be aborted than to live through poverty. So they have this notion that falls empathy towards those people that, well, it's going to the kids that's going to be born in that poor family or something like that. I've been trying to understand how they think, but I guess that's how they think. You know what I mean? I've had conversation with a lot of people about something like that. Why would you bring the kids here, or bring the kids out of this world that that he's going to suffer, if he has some kind of a illness or Down syndrome or whatnot, or, anything like that. I've heard that too, that the argument that they should end the life now while it's not, quote unquote, it's not human. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, can you confidently say that a woman who has a child who, the child was conceived under circumstances that were, not okay and very violent, and, I can't even imagine.
Rape, you mean?
How are you guaranteeing that this child is going to be happy and live a healthy life that's deserving?
There's no
Of course,
guarantee.
I can never guarantee
Yeah.
the outcome of someone's life. But you know what's a whole lot worse
Oh, wow.
than giving someone a chance is eliminating that chance altogether by ultimately terminating their
Exactly.
life.
Are you eliminating that woman's chance of fulfilling her dreams and fulfilling her life? Like,
Okay, so yeah, so this is coming from different angles here. Uh, the woman, the lady, she worries about the kids, because she's throwing a lot of things, conceived in rape or being born into poverty or something like that. Now she's going to that side of a woman, that the pregnant woman, that in her mind, it's like when a woman gets pregnant while in college, she thinks that the whole future of that person is just gone because of the kids, because of being pregnant. So that's where she's coming from.
it's foster care systems aren't what they seem, or people of course have opinions of what's right to do after you have a child, or if you decide not to have a child. But I have a friend who was in foster care, and he has experienced the most insane situations that I can even imagine.
Okay, when they say something like that, I have a friend, I know a person, I know that guy, or even to the point that they say they lived through it. Yeah, I always call them, that's fifth. I don't know. 9 out of 10 of that would be probably flat out lie, or they heard something like that to just kind of put a weight on their argument.
And the fact that, sorry,
But what is the percentage of that? I can tell you there are, it's maybe just a fraction, not even. You know what I mean? That went through that. Are you saying that just because your friend went through a horrible thing while in foster care, so therefore let's, abort all the babies that you don't want. It's just doesn't make sense to me.
No, keep on going. It's fine. It's just, I know all your arguments, but keep going.
I know, right?
No, I really want to know, like not even to be like this, but woman to woman, Riley, how do you justify, putting this almost shackle on women and kind of sitting there and saying, you know what, I don't care, you're going to have this child, despite how, painful.
I am so sorry that you are led to believe that children are shackles on your life.
Exactly. Shackles. This is why it all boils down to, there's a lot of young kids out there. It all boils down to having fun. They want to, they want to go party. They want to, they wanted all this crazy stuff, having sex before marriage and all of that, but they don't want responsibility and accountability, especially from both sides, mother, the guy and the girl that did it. So therefore, abortion is the answer to all of that. And to her, they always want to add that. How could you not let that person, get rid of the baby? Shame on you for not letting that person get rid of the baby. Therefore, that you're putting shackles on them. I don't know. I mean, I have kids, and they're all, they're not well planned. I didn't know when we're gonna have a baby or not, but one after another came right out. You know what I mean? Blessing. Babies are the blessings. I just wish I can have more, but
argue there are many parents here, mothers, fathers who are here who would not look at their children as shackles. Again, they would look at them as the greatest blessing life has to offer.
Exactly. Whether it doesn't matter if they were, formed and got pregnant out of wedlock, whatever that you want. They're human being. They're God creation. Now, if you don't believe outside of that, and that's what, that's everything falls apart. Everything goes without, God, without that instructor of what the God says in the Bible, that that God says, I knew you before you were even formed. You know what I mean? If you don't believe that, and then, that's why some of these people are so-called Christian. They call themselves Christians, but yet they advocate for abortions, in the guise of helping women, or in the guise of, what do you call that? Health provider. You know what I mean, that's boy.
If unfortunately that's a position that you find yourself in, or someone finds themselves in, where they do see this child as a hindrance.
Yeah.
You mentioned foster care. I think we, rather than, again, kind of normalizing and accepting and celebrating the idea of abortion, you work on foster care reform, the reform of the adoption.
Exactly. Just like me. I mean, I look into it. I wanted to, look in possibility, maybe like adopt, here in the United States. You know how hard it is to get to adopt a baby? Not just going through hoops, but, financially, you got at the least $25,000 to adopt a baby. And they said that foster homes, fostering a kid, those are the most, or at least the cheapest way to go. But then again, you got to go through hoops. Like a simple background check, or, even a house thing. Yeah, you can check them. But I don't know, man. I'm just afraid, and, to go through all that hoops, man.
System. I think those are much more beneficial and effective ways to ultimately address the problems that you're bringing to light without having to terminate lives in the process.
Why is there such a focus on kind of reprimanding women for their choice, but not a focus on making sure that foster care systems are what they should be? And, kind of.
I think
Did you see Charlie Kirk's face? He's just like, I'm just gonna step out of here, man. He says, I'm gonna let these two women go at it. You know, he's just like, I can't. Charlie can't believe what he's hearing from this brainwashed college guy. Is she even in college? I don't know. I mean, some of these people sometimes they just hang around in college campuses like creeps.
I think that's a national conversation that we could have. I do.
Yeah.
Why do you not think that's happening? Why do you think the focus is on women and their bodies?
It is happening. We actually
That's-
post more funding to foster
that's
care
right.
systems. You don't know about it. It's just like literally, Republican states are pumping more money into pregnancy. Do you know what a pregnancy crisis center is?
Yeah, like a Planned Parenthood kind of ordeal, or what do you mean by that?
No.
It's just a question. I mean, I'm really learning. This is I'm not.
Good. This is learning though, because she's only hearing the other side. They shouldn't be booing her. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, but they have to do some research, man. Do your own research. You know, this woman is ill-informed on many things. You know, she didn't even know that. Oh my goodness.
Pregnancy crisis center is the pro-life equivalent, where you go there to actually have your baby be saved.
Yeah,
okay.
They'll actually
They
help
help
the
you.
baby with diapers and with formula and food
Yeah.
up to 5 years of life. And there are
very nice.
there's
Yeah.
thousands of churches across the country that pump in hundreds of millions of dollars a year on that one
Exactly.
specific thing.
I make sure I support causes that do as well. Whether that is supplement companies, all the supplements I get, my vitamins that I take daily, I make sure I buy from a company that supports pro-life causes because it matters to me. When I say I'm pro-woman, I mean I am pro-woman wholeheartedly, entirely, all the way through, up and down. I am pro-woman. That means supporting women during their pregnancy, throughout their pregnancy, and after their pregnancy as well.
Okay, interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering.
Yeah, she didn't have anything on that thing because she was just, I don't know. It's just sad that sometimes people don't have a clue. But anyway, we'll catch again later. Keep it here